My name is Carolyn, and I talk to the spirit world. Travel with me to a dimension filled with love, light, and joyful surprises. Welcome to Carolyn's Psychic Playroom.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom. It is my great pleasure to be able to sit with you broadcasting from my living room to share with you just the joy of life and the joy of being able to be together for one more episode. I have a fabulous guest this time to share with you. Like me, she's a musician. She's just an altogether brilliant practitioner that you are going to just love. And that is Miss Sandra Ferreira. And I'll be bringing her up in just a moment. But as I like to do, before I bring up my guest, I'm just going to give a little reading for our collective. For whenever you are watching this program, it's going to be coming out mid to late July. So anytime in that range, I'm asking for let me pull this over here. I'm asking for my African American Tarot deck, which is a wonderful new card deck that I have really enjoyed using. I'm asking the African American Tarot just to talk to us about what my guides and ancestors see as important issues and things that we need to know about in order to thrive and really live our best and highest and best circumstances in these next 2 weeks in July. So I'm shuffling the cards here, and then I'm going to pull a couple of cards, and let's see what my guides and spiritual support team have to offer for us in these next couple of weeks that we need to know. So let's see, I've shuffled a little. I'm going to spread them out on the table here. And now I'm picking a card. And this card here is the Knight of Pentacles. Can you see that? First of all, these cards are gorgeous. I love the artwork. You can see that this is a very strong and powerful figure riding an elephant, a strong and powerful animal. And I don't know if you've ever seen elephants up close, but they're like amazing and rather awe-inspiring. They're very smart. In addition to being very strong, they're also very smart. And what I'm feeling that this card is bringing is a lot of really powerful energy, but it's in pentacles. So that means it's very grounded into the earth. It's coins, it's money, it's practical things. It's not necessarily an airy-fairy kind of thing. It speaks to our power in the moment, our practicality, and our ability to get things done. So if you have been someone who's been a little bit struggling or a little bit adrift, what with the pandemic and all the things going on, I encourage you to think about this card, because what this card is saying is that your struggles are coming to an end. You have available to you a source of wisdom, a source of power, and it is connected to the earth. Let me see if there's another card that would like to weigh in. And this is the same thing. It's the Four of Pentacles. So once again, this is about pentacles, coins, money, things that are grounded in the earth and in practicality. This man here is a shaman. He's bringing healing to his community, and he's taking the wisdom of the heavens, but he's bringing it right down into earth. And this little figure up here at the top, can you see that? Is the man who invented, I looked him up before and I cannot call his name right now, but he was an inventor who invented a special light for people to use down in coal mines to light the darkness. And this is all about lighting the darkness for you in very practical ways. He didn't just light the darkness in some abstract kind of way or philosophical way. He was using it in a very practical, grounded, and down to earth way. And in fact, inside the earth. So we have a lot of earth energy to consider, a lot of power to consider, a lot of wisdom to consider, and all of these things are going to be available to our community and our collective, and for you to kind of ponder and draw upon in these next 2 weeks. All right, so having brought forth that little message from the cards for our collective, I'm going to go ahead and now bring up my very special guest. All right. I am thrilled to have as my guest today Ms. Sandra Ferreira. She is a musician with a gorgeous, classically trained soprano voice. She's also a therapist, also trained, and a medium, also trained, and just an altogether wonderful and lovely person. And we're going to be having a fabulous conversation about all of the various things she does. So, welcome to the show, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you so much for your invitation.
Aw. So, listen, we're going to jump right in. Since you're a fellow musician, I'm going to start with your music first. Have you always, many singers that I know have been singing almost since they fell out of the womb. Is that the case for you?
Well, somehow my mother was a good singer. She was not professionally trained, but she really loved to sing. So I hear my mother singing since I was in her womb.
Oh.
And she used to sing all day long, doing chores in the house and stuff. And I also grew up in church, in a Baptist church, and music is a huge thing, as people could imagine. Some people know. So I started to get motivated to study music because of church. So there's always children's choir, like opportunities to perform and things like that. So I started to study piano when I was 9 because of that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And then at some point, you came to Boston and you actually went to, did you tell me Boston Conservatory or New England
Right.
Conservatory? Boston, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about that. What was that like? Did you enjoy the conservatory experience? Was it stressful? Was it fun? What was it like for you?
Was wonderful. I had a degree in piano before, and I used to sing professionally in Brazil.
Mm.
And I came to United States to do a master's in music therapy at NYU to combine music and psychology. And then, I got married. There's like so many things happen. And later on, I was really, really missing performing, music performance. So I got in contact with some colleges, and I really fell in love with the Boston Conservatory. So I made the application, I got a scholarship, and I went At that time I was living in Connecticut, so I moved to Boston to attend the Masters in Opera in the Boston Conservatory. It was a wonderful experience. Music is just like so fantastic, and the more we study, the more we have to learn. And in the Boston Conservatory, I had a wonderful experience because they have the music theater department, they have the theater department, they have the music department. So we had classes in every one, and they have wonderful teachers. So we had to do a lot of concerts as a part of the graduation program. So the master's program. So it was a wonderful experience for me, and I really enjoyed. And of course, we always grow as a person. Everything we do is not just about that technical aspect. We grow. We kind of go deep into the opera content and the music history and all that. We learn so much about life through this academic experience, and also performing and feeling the emotions and digging into ourselves, the characters. So it's a life experience that is very unique, and I'm really pleased to have had the opportunity to do that.
Oh, that's beautiful. And that leads right into my next question, because as a fellow musician, I feel that music is so powerful as a way for healing, as a way for shifting people, and not only maybe in the traditional music therapy sense. I know you mentioned that you have studied music therapy, so I know often when we think of music therapy, we think of singing for the elderly, for example, or for children and this kind of thing. But what I'm feeling is that any kind of music, whether it's an opera, whether it's a jazz concert, whatever, music has a vibrational power that is healing. So that kind of leads me to ask you about what you're doing now. I know that you're also a therapist, and so does your practice actually combine music and therapy, or tell me how that works in your practice?
No, absolutely. I have had numerous experience through my career in using music as a therapeutic tool. Actually, that's what brought me to the United States, to the music therapy program, was a research that I was doing in a hospital, experimental research using music as a treatment for comatose patients. And it was fantastic. We had so much data, so much new things that neurology didn't have at that time. And there's so much still to be learned. And I have done a lot of post-grad courses combining music and brain, like in the field of music and brain. And there's so much done already, but so much to be done still to understand this relationship. And on my practice, I do combine music and therapy. I have done choirs. I have started choirs with psychiatric patients. And it's a fantastic experience. And because it is healing in itself. So there is a language that is a universal language that's unique. And if the person has a special connection, everyone has as a human being. But some people who has talent has even a stronger connection with music. And when we give this space for them to express themselves as a human being and be connected with this collective energy as a human being, instead of just seeing themselves as a label, diagnostic label, is absolutely healing and transformative. And there's a lot of things done. There's a psychiatrist in Brazil in the 1940s who have done this as well. Her name is Nis da Silveira. And she, at that time, there was absolutely nothing but, restrictions and harsh medications, and there's not even the elaborate medication we have nowadays. And she's the one that had the vision to understand that clients, people with chronic psychiatric diseases, has a soul. They have a soul, and she created this art therapy space in the hospital, and was transformative. So I do believe in the healing power of music. Absolutely.
Oh, that is beautiful. So now that leads me to my next question. What is your current, because I know that you're also a medium. So can you share a little bit about this? Have you always, just like with music, I feel like there's actually a natural link between music and mediumship. I feel like they both come from the same source, and a lot of it has to do with getting our conscious thinking brain a little bit to the side to allow the guidance or the music or the creativity or the spirit, whatever, to come through. But tell me a little bit about how you got started in mediumship and what you're doing now with it.
It's very interesting that you ask me this question in this context because to tell you the truth, is so funny. And when I said that to my first mediumship teacher, she looked at me and said, she didn't say anything, but she looked at me like, well, you're crazy. Because I started to study mediumship because I had an intuition that this would make my music better. It is somehow I didn't know why I felt this way and how this would happen, but now I understand very well, because exactly what you said is the same link, and is a universal language. I think Debussy said something about it, right? That the composer, the musician, is a channel for the music.
Absolutely.
He's not the creator. He's the channel of the music that comes from the collective, this other dimension. And I absolutely believe that as well, because we have numerous experiences as musicians of this kind of phenomenon, and we see that with other colleagues. We see that in general in the music field, when the music is genuine, right, is somehow absolutely a divine language.
Yes.
And so, yes, I started a while ago, I think 15 years ago. And then it was just, I was very scared because, growing up in a Baptist church is a no-no, right? Like my family still don't understand. They don't accept that I am in this field or in this lifestyle. They think I'm lost. So they keep praying for me, but that's okay. Prayers are always welcome, right? But it's a wonderful thing. So we are closer to God than ever when we practice mediumship.
Preach. I tell you. So if someone were to come to you, what sort of services do you offer your clients? Do you offer them the possibility of experiencing both regular therapy, music therapy, and mediumship, or do you separate them into 3 different offerings? Tell me about what you offer to your clients.
Yes, I definitely don't mix mediumship with therapy, in a sense that, okay, I don't do readings for my clients, or I don't even mention, because, it would not be good. But I start with what they bring to me. And it's interesting that many of them naturally look for me, not because it's written on my website, not because they make a connection with social media and this and that. No, naturally they are drawn to me. Sometimes they are even referred to me through their insurance company. And many of them have mediumship skills or have some kind of spiritual experience in a family, or things like that, they crave to develop their own spirituality. So in that regard, I help them, not by saying I'm a medium or anything, but just with guidance through spirit. Everything we say can be also healing and guided by our guides, right? Through the spiritual realm. So the relationship is always there, because we are human beings and we cannot compartmentalize our existence, right? As a human, as humanities, body, mind, and spirit are always related. Art and
Yes.
cognition is related, is inseparable. So
Yes.
somehow it's all connected. But in terms of titles and specific services, I offer separately. And the music therapy and the psychology, yes, sometimes I do combine, always based on the client's needs and their own requests. So I present what I can offer to them, and then they choose what they would like to have.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's just such a rich offering. And you've just given so much wisdom there, because I do agree with you, even when we're not overtly doing our, woo, 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 woo,
Mhm.
we are still serving, because that is our nature, and the channel is open. And whether we're serving as musicians, serving as therapists, serving in some combination, serving as a medium, it almost doesn't matter, because it's the spirit that is coming through is the same. And it's just like light coming through a prism and being different colors. And as you say, according to what is needed by the person who contacts you. So here's a question that I ask everyone on the program, for people who, as they listen to you and they look at your lovely face there and they say, wow, I sure wish that I could be more creative. I've always wanted to sing, but my choir director told me I was tone deaf, or this or that stifling thing that often happens. Um, I'd be very curious if you have any tips or encouragement for people who would like to get started, and particularly with singing, with this beautiful form of self expression that is so often stifled in our culture. We make fun of people, voices, we especially little kids. So, how would you encourage a person to open up to that natural gift?
That's a wonderful question, because I really believe that everyone can sing.
Mm.
Everyone, music is part of our humanity. When we see the ancient civilizations, we see that everyone shares the music rituals. All the rituals in the tribes were involved music, and
Yes.
everybody sang, everybody danced together,
Mm.
right? So this is part of the humanity of that is inside of all of us. So if you have difficulties, music, as everything else, is about practice. People that is tone deaf or has difficulty with music, it's because they have never been exposed to music through their parents on their own. So the relationship with the music comes from the most premature periods of our lives. So the first thing
Mm.
that the baby perceives when they are inside of the womb of the mother is the sound. They hear
Nice.
the sound of the beats of the heart, the sound of the fluids of their body, the sound of her voice. And
Ah,
it's the first relationship that as humans we have with the world.
nice.
So it's ingrained in our nature. So it's all about exposing yourself, practicing. Don't give up. Listen to music. look for teachers, private teachers that can help you to perceive your voice, to tune this relationship between you and your own voice, you and your own body. So there's a lot of groups that can be done. There's a wonderful music teachers that's out there that has the sensitivity to engrave, develop the musicality on people that has difficulties. So practice, 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 and believe. And the relationship with yourself is also important, because sometimes your blockage to music is related to something else, right? So it's also important for you to eventually look for psychotherapy with someone that's also like music sensitive, at least, even if they are not a musician, but they can help you to break those blockages so the relationship between you and your music can flow.
Oh, that's fabulous. What a wonderful piece of advice. I hope that my viewers and listeners will take that to heart. So, one more time, as we're coming to the conclusion of this beautiful interview, tell people where they can find you, both to listen to your beautiful music, because I have to say, I've heard Sandra sing. It's gorgeous. She has an amazing operatic voice, very lovely, and accompanies herself on the piano. Beautiful. Where can people come to listen to your music, to study with you, or to get a mediumship appointment with you, or a therapy appointment? Where can people find you?
Well, thank you so much. I have actually 3 websites, one for each.
Okay.
So my music website is www.sandraferreira.com,
Okay.
SANDRAFERREIRA.com. My psychology website is www.psychologist.com, PSYKOLOGYZ.com. And my mediumship spiritual website is www.revenant.world. So you can look for me, contact me through those websites. You have emails that you can contact through the website, and phone number there as well. So I look forward to hear from you and to help you with whatever you need.
Oh my goodness. And you've got so much to offer. I will definitely put links up on the screen so that people can see all of the different ways that they can reach you. And there you have it, everybody. The amazing Sandra Ferreira, who has so much to give, particularly for the musically minded, the spiritually minded, or just doing the basic psychology therapy. I could see that she would also be terrific for that, particularly if you're a creative person. She is definitely going to be able to help you. So thank you so much for coming on the Playroom today, Sandra.
Thank you so
And
much.
oh, you're more than welcome. And we'll have to have you back to have an even more in-depth conversation in the future. But thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you so much for your invitation, and wonderful to be here with you. Have a wonderful day.
So, I hope that you enjoyed that interview. We obviously had a great time. I just love her. She has a fabulous vibe. She has so much to offer, so talented. You heard all of the different things she does. She's so busy. She's got 3 different websites. I'm going to list them below so that you can go and check her out, whether you're interested in therapy, whether you're interested in mediumship, whether you're interested in her music healing and music therapy, that kind of thing. So much to investigate there. And so we've come to the end of yet another episode of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom. And I always tell you, if you're interested in receiving a reading from me, On the program, I just use initials. You can write to me at my website, carolynwilkins.com, just to ask a question or to find out more about me. Visit my website, carolynwilkins.com. And meanwhile, I look forward to seeing you soon at another episode of Carolyn's Psychic Playroom. Bye for now.
Thoughts are things with the energy to make life better for you and for me. Touch the light. Oh, touch the light.